and join me as we visit the beautiful ruins of Melrose Abbey, located on the Scottish borders. It is a symbol of Scotland's medieval heritage, representing both the religious devotion and architectural ambition of the time. On my visit, it was fenced off due to much needed repairs. This abbey was founded in 1136 by Cistercian monks under the patronage of King David I. The abbey has a history marked by periods of growth, conflict and resilience. Though now in ruins, the abbey remains an enduring cultural landmark, celebrated for its distinctive Gothic architecture, religious significance and the legends surrounding it, such as the burial place of the heart of Robert the Bruce. The history of Melrose Abbey reflects the complex interplay between religion, politics and warfare in medieval Scotland. The abbey was founded as part of a wave of monastic expansion led by the Cistercians, an order known for strict adherence to the rule of St. Benedict, supported by King David I, who aimed to establish a powerful religious institution in Scotland. The abbey quickly became a prominent centre of Cistercian life and devotion. Throughout its history, Melrose Abbey suffered numerous attacks, most notably during the Wars of Scottish Independence and later during England incursions under King Richard II. Despite these setbacks, the abbey was repeatedly rebuilt, with each restoration adding layers of architectural details and artistic embellishments. However, the Reformation of the 16th century led to the dissolution of monastic institution in Scotland, and the abbey was ultimately abandoned. Today the ruins remain at a historic site managed by Historic Environment Scotland, preserving the abbey's legacy as a symbol of resilience and spiritual devotion. One of the most remarkable features of this abbey is its architecture. Originally built as a relatively simple layout, the abbey was later expanded and transformed into a Gothic masterpiece. This transformation reflects the evolution of architectural styles in medieval Europe. Unusual for these monasteries, the abbey is adorned with detailed carvings of animals, saints, gargoyles and mythical creatures. One of the most famous carvings is the figure of a pig playing the bagpipes. Another significant architectural feature is the large pointed arches and ribbed vaults typical of Gothic designs, which creates a sense of grandeur and vertically drawing the viewer's eyes upward to a symbolic representation of the journey towards the divine. The abbey's design includes tall arched windows, delicate carvings and a prominent central tower, showing the unique blend of monastic restraint and the flourishing artistic spirit of the 14th century. The abbey allows visitors into a glimpse into the sophistication and skills of the masons who constructed it. The abbey's layout reflects the traditional Cistercian preference for simplicity and functionality, with a cruciform plan that includes a central nave, transepts and choir. These features would have played a crucial role in the spiritual experience of the monks, creating an atmosphere of light and reverence. The abbey's religious significance is deeply rooted in its association with the Cistercian order. While the abbey started to be built in 1136, it carried on housing monks until 1590. The abbey served as the centre of monastic life for centuries, where monks engaged in prayer, study and manual labour. The abbey's role in pilgrimage site further highlights its religious importance. Pilgrims visited with relics and to seek blessings from the monks. The abbey is also famous for its connection to one of Scotland's most iconic historical figures, Robert the Bruce. The legendary king and hero of Scotland's fight for independence from England requested that his heart be taken on a crusade to the Holy Land upon his death. Though the crusade was unsuccessful, his heart was brought back to Scotland and, according to the legend, buried at this abbey. A small stone plaque marks the site of the burial. A casket containing what is believed to be his heart was unearthed in the abbey's ground in the early 20th century, confirming the long-held tale. This royal connection gives the abbey a unique historical significance, linked it directly to the struggles of Scotland's medieval past and the legacy of a king who fought for Scottish independence. Over the years, the abbey has seen a lot of destruction and change. The building was pillaged and burned by Edward's II army in 1322, and in 1385 it was set on fire by Richard II. The site was rebuilt over the following century. The Protestant Reformation in the 16th century brought a definite end to the monastic life there. There are many spooky tales of monks being seen roaming around the area, but the tale of the abbey's vampire is perhaps the best known. The story of the wayward priest resurrected from the dead was first recorded in 1197. The tale is of a wicked priest, better known as Hunderprest or Dog Priest, who had led an unholy life, I am sure in more ways than talked about. It's said that the priest preferred a life of hunting with dogs rather than tending to the spiritual needs of his congregation. By the sounds of it, nobody was too upset when he finally passed away. Being the chaplain, he had the honour of being buried in the graveyard of the abbey around the late 1100s. But death, it seems, didn't mean that his spirit was finally at peace. There are stories that his spirit, or as some have called it, a monster, would at night often rise from his tomb. The monks would pray in the abbey to prevent this monster from entering the abbey itself, leading the monster to wander the grounds at night, often reported to terrorise the monks who dared to walk the grounds. The monster, rather than returning to his grave, has been reported to be seen in the town and the countryside around. Eventually he came to the house of his former mistress, who he had once been the chaplain for. Hovering above her chamber bed, he would murmur and groan loudly, putting her into a state of fear, not just once, but on many occasions. On talking to a monk about the nightly tales, she told the monk that she couldn't continue to put up with such a disturbance by this monster. The monk, knowing how great a benefactor of the abbey she was, promised he would do what he could. This monk, with the help of 3 others, kept guard over the grave, and were ready to confront this now monster. But when midnight came and no monster appeared, 3 of the monks decided to leave, but 1 monk decided to remain. It was then that the monster rose from the grave and faced this lone monk. The monk showed courage and did not run away, but stood his ground. The monster let out a terrible roar and rushed at the monk, but this fearless monk had brought an axe with him and in his hand, and struck the monster. The axe went deep into the monster's body, and with a roar the monster groaned loudly and fled back to his grave. The story continues that the three monks, when hearing the roar of the monster, returned as the once alone monk was shouting prayers at the night sky, trying to prevent the monster from returning. The monks remained at the graveside and at dawn dug the body up, where it said that they found the corpse, with blood still flowing from the large axe wound. The monks removed the body from its grave, carried it outside the abbey's grounds. Once it was beyond the holy soil, they burnt the body to prevent it from returning to the abbey. The ashes were then scattered to the winds, and this monster was no more. How much truth is in this story we don't know, nor do we know how these stories or folklore start. They might have begun as fragments, hints of a memory, or perhaps as soft murmurs in the dark, carried by those who wandered alone under starlit skies. Maybe they were born from a single simple word, a promise or a sorrow whispered into the earth. No one can say who first told them, nor where the final truth lies, for these tales have been shaped and reshaped, woven through so many lives that their edges blur, twisting to fit into the hearts of those who carry them. And perhaps that's how they have meant to be, mysterious, without a true beginning or end, like the river that flows beyond our sight, always somewhere, always waiting. Today, the Abbey stands as a poignant reminder of Scotland's medieval past. The Abbey's ruins, managed by Historic Environment Scotland, attracts visitors from around the world who are drawn to its architectural beauty and historical significance. Efforts are focused on preserving the Abbey's remaining structures, particularly the stone carvings and architectural details that are susceptible to weathering. These efforts aim to protect the Abbey for future generations, ensuring that it remains a source of inspiration and reflection. When visiting, be sure to visit the museum, which hold artefacts excavated from the sites, including fragments of stained glass, ceremonial items and carvings. This collection brings an added depth to the experience of the Abbey, giving visitors a more personal sense of the daily life of the monks and the trials they faced over the centuries. The Abbey's legacy extends beyond its physical structure. It has inspired numerous works of art, literature and folklore. Sir Walter Scott, a prominent Scottish writer, was particularly fascinated by this abbey, referencing it in his poem The Lay of the Last Minstrel. Scott's admiration helped popularise the abbey as a romantic ruin, further embedding it in Scottish cultural imagination. There is a link in the description below to the poem. The Abbey represents the grandeur of the Scottish medieval heritage. Its history is resilience through conflict, its architectural achievements, and its cultural symbolism underscores the Abbey's importance as more than just a relic of the past. The Abbey continues to capture the imagination of visitors and historians alike, serving as a bridge between the medieval and the modern worlds. As a site of historical, religious, and architectural significance, the Abbey endures as a testament to the spiritual, cultural legacy of Scotland, preserving its memory for generations to come. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. I truly appreciate every single one of you. Whether you're a viewer, subscriber, Patreon supporter or channel member, your continued encouragement and generosity means the world to me and allows me to keep creating content we are so passionate about. I couldn't do this without you, and I am so grateful to have such an amazing community. Thank you for being part of this journey, and until the next time, stay safe.